say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. We thank you, first of all, once again, for the co-creation of this interaction. Anytime you create between your civilization and our civilization such an interaction, it forms a bridge, it forms a link, it forms a tunnel, it forms a new reality, a third reality, an overlapping reality in which we can, more and more every day, interact with each other in many more ways. So we thank you for the gift of allowing us to experience each and every one of you in this way. We would like to now continue the transmission we began last night of your time of counting, that then we entitled Building a Bridge to 2013, as you know time to exist. And now we will continue this transmission with the idea of crossing the bridge to 2013. We remind you briefly of the ideas we spoke of last night of your time, that the whole concept of building this bridge and going, in a sense, through, beyond, past the idea of 2012, the idea of your December 21st winter solstice date that so many people on your planet are focused on as the threshold date, as the tipping of the scales date, going from one idea to another idea, changing your energy, shifting your reality. Well, of course, this has been going on for a little while and will continue a little while beyond that threshold. It's not all going to happen in the blink of an eye necessarily, because you have chosen to experience physical reality as a realm of time and space. Nevertheless, much of the idea of time and space, as we discussed last night of your time, can become more flexible, more accelerated, more malleable, so that you can find many things happening in a shortened amount of time, many different places, in a sense, being experienced in rapid succession, other than the way you used to experience these ideas of getting from place to place. You can now find yourself blinking, in a sense, jumping, in a sense, from place to place a little bit more rapidly as you dissolve and deconstruct the whole idea of physical reality, since physical reality is only your projection of consciousness anyway. But in discussing the idea of going beyond, of spanning over your December 21st, 2012 date, we allow you to focus your sights on the realms beyond, on 2013, on the years beyond that date, so that you can allow yourself to make that leap, not focus so much on every little step, but know that as you allow yourself to simply look past that date, all the details that need to be there will automatically fall into place. You don't have to necessarily watch each and every one. You don't have to necessarily guide each and every one into position, because life already works. The structure already exists. The machine already is on automatic. And all you need to do is allow it to work in the way it was designed to work, to take advantage of the effects that it can have in your physical reality. So allowing yourself the broader perspective, not of the physical mind that is devoted to the focus of minutia, but the higher mind that is devoted to the broader perspective, the farther seeing mind that sees the path laid out where the physical mind cannot, that knows how to get you where you need to go, where the physical mind cannot, is the way to align your energy with the ability to move beyond all of those little details and allow them to fall into place automatically, using the machine as it was intended, so to speak. Using the structure of existence as it was designed, so to speak. The idea, therefore, in crossing this bridge is once again to first and foremost let it really sink in that everything is simultaneous. Everything exists here and now. You're not really going anywhere. Everything is coming through you. It's just a shift in perspective. Standing on that metaphorical bridge, and it doesn't even have to be a bridge. If your imagination says that your bridge would rather be a tunnel, that is all well and good, and follow it, because your imagination is key to your specific frequency and will work best for you in giving you the symbols and metaphors, and even some meta fives, that will work best for you. Allow yourself to alter it as you see fit, because after all, this bridge we are talking about is only a permission slip to allow you to give yourself permission to be more of who you are, to expand your consciousness and expand your awareness in whatever way truly is most aligned with your true core frequency as you were created to be. So in understanding that everything exists here and now, it does not really matter exactly how the metaphor is formed. It can be a bridge. It can be a tunnel. It can be one of your airplanes taking you from one point to another. It can be anything you wish, a road, a path, a waterfall, anything you wish, as long as it embodies the concept that you are, in a sense, going over, leaping over, spanning over all of the little details that many people on your planet are now focused on, and allowing yourself, in spanning over, to let those things fall into place automatically, effortlessly, joyfully, creatively, lovingly, without having to get caught up in the idea that it is an effort and a struggle to allow things to change. It is really just an allowance. And allowing them to change in a way that is aligned with your frequency is the greatest joy of all. Because the whole idea of your choosing to experience physical reality is to really experience the fullness of your being, discovering who and what you really are. Remember, you cannot discover if you don't first forget, and that's why you chose to forget. The idea of coming into physical reality comes with the idea of certain limitations that actually serve you to play a certain game so that you can rediscover pieces of yourself, ideas of yourself, perspectives of yourself from a wholly different point of view. And that discovery, that self-discovery, allows you to also understand more and more about creation itself in the bigger picture. The idea thus is that as you are willing to truly allow yourself to be more of who you are actually putting an energy into reality that allows other people more opportunity to also discover more of who they are. Because once that energy enters your world in a much more highly accelerated way, you allow that vibration, in a sense, to radiate and leak from you, if you wish, and it makes it easier for you, being this broadcast antenna, for others willing to be a more receptive receiver, a more sensitive receiver, to pick up on that frequency, to feel it in the atmosphere, to feel it in the environment, to know that that vibration calls them to themselves, and thus then allows them to know with greater certainty that they do not need to be afraid to explore all of those aspects of their being, that the only thing they will ever discover in the unknown is more and more and more of themselves. So all of this is part and parcel of the idea of crossing this bridge. And as we said, first and foremost, to know that you're not really going anywhere, because everything in creation exists right here, right now. And the crossing of the bridge is really the being of the bridge. The being fully as you possibly can in the moment, in the now, living your life to the fullest, so that in a sense the bridge can move through you. It can span through you. That you can shift your consciousness from parallel world to parallel world, parallel version of Earth to parallel version of Earth, as you do already billions of times per second, but that you can now know you can do it. You can now feel it more. You can have a visceral, tangible experience of the idea that you're always shifting, always creating the idea of space and time as your playground, as your chessboard, as your game board, and that the rules are slightly loosening up to allow you more moves, more opportunity to see farther ahead, many moves ahead, more opportunity thus then to understand that there is great flexibility in the game of physical reality as long as you remain aligned with your true vibration. Does this make sense to you? Yes. All right. The idea thus then, first and foremost, of really crossing that bridge is to allow yourself every single day, every single opportunity to really take a moment to really feel out all those things that are true for you, truly exciting. And as you do this, understand that this is not an issue of just you alone. Even though you are the only thing that exists in your unique universe, and this is true of every one of you, the idea is that there are also other beings. And so the idea of acting in perfect harmony in what is most exciting for you as an individual also takes into account the respect and what works best for all concerned. For you are all pieces in a puzzle picture, and all of you, by being your true self, support the whole. So the idea is that when you allow yourself to play with space and time in certain ways, then whatever the consequences of your choices are, that shall be what you know will serve the whole and you the best. Because you need to look at this more holistically. It's not just about the idea when you follow your excitement, when you follow your bliss, when you act on your highest joy. It's not just about the idea of what's exciting for you. It's about the idea of what's exciting for all, because the one is the all and the all are the one. And so in focusing on the idea of your excitement And in acting on your excitement in the most integrated way, with the idea in mind of everyone else as a holistic picture, taking the higher mind point of view, you will then know that whatever the consequences are, whatever the circumstances are that arise from whatever choices you have made in playing your new space-time game will be exactly what actually serves both the whole and the individual best. It is a balancing act. It is a harmonizing act. It is an allowing act. It is a loving act. It is an expression of unconditional love both for yourself and for all that is, and every single perspective and component of creation. Does this make sense? All right. Now then, in again the idea of crossing this bridge, you will start to feel the concept of more acceleration. Again, this does not mean that you're actually literally accelerating, because you're already going as fast as you possibly can go. You as a being already move in a sense at infinite speed. Everything moves through you in that way. But you regulate it. You allow yourself the perception of certain, shall we say, frames of existence that determines the idea that you call acceleration or slowing down or speeding up. The idea, therefore, is that not you're really going to accelerate, but that you're going to become more aware of the idea of how fast you're already going, how fast the acceleration already exists. More tangibly aware of that infinite speed. And when we say infinite speed, of course, this is a euphemism. We're simply using your language to describe an effect. All these things are just symbols. All these translations are just ideas, perspectives, and reflections of the higher mind mirror, but it is a convenient way to look at these ideas. But you again can use your imagination, which is the conduit of communication to your higher mind, to alter these ideas in any way, shape, or form that works best for you. So when we talk about the idea of feeling an acceleration, what we're actually saying is you're becoming more aware of the acceleration that you already exist at, of the rate, the frame rate you're already shifting at. And thus then you give yourself an opportunity to have more conscious awareness, more conscious intention to truly allow yourself to choose the frames, and only the frames, more and more every day, that are most representative. The parallel realities of Earth, more and more every day, that are most representative of your true core vibration. And thus then that can make you, by comparison to what you've been doing, feel like you're accelerating. So the experience of the acceleration you're all talking about now is real. But acceleration itself doesn't exist. It is just an awareness, more awareness of your relationship to the infinite that you're actually picking up on, and that's what you experience. That's what you translate in your reality as the concept, as the experience you call acceleration. Does that make sense? Yeah. So the idea thus then is that all of this in the crossing of the bridge is all about becoming more aware of what is. It's not really about learning to do anything new. You're already doing everything you need to do, mechanically speaking. You already trust 100%. You're already shifting all the time. You don't have to learn to trust. You don't have to learn to shift. You just have to choose what you're trusting in, positive or negative. You just have to know you're already shifting so you can be more consciously aware of what it is you can choose to shift to. But you don't actually have to learn any of the fundamentals. You just need to become more awake and aware of what the fundamentals are that are already in existence so that you can use them as the toolkit that they are for you, so that you can really learn how to use the structure of existence, so that you can begin to truly see it clearly. And in seeing it clearly, allow everything that doesn't fit that structure to fall away as just ideas, just reflections, just permission slips that are not in and of themselves real until you make them real with your definitions and your beliefs. But even when you make them real, so to speak, they don't become any more solid than you believe them to be, because it is only your belief that creates the idea, in a sense, that you call the experience of solidity. Let me tell you actually what solidity, the sensation you call solidity, actually is. You know, and your scientists know on your planet, that nothing is really solid. Even what you call solid matter is only made up in a sense of energy, and it is mostly empty space. The idea, therefore, is that even though there are scientific explanations why something feels solid, being the idea of electrons and valence and all of those ideas, those are still only symbols. The true reason why anything in your physical reality which doesn't really exist feels solid, why you have the experience of solidity, is what you're actually feeling literally is your indestructible nature. You cannot be destroyed. That's what solidity is. You have actually used your indestructible nature and imparted that idea, that perspective of your indestructibility as a being, as a consciousness, into your experience of physical materiality to render the idea, the experience of physical reality seemingly solid. But every time you do this, every time you touch something that feels solid, you are actually literally aware, becoming aware, interacting with your indestructible core, your indestructible nature. That is actually you. It's your essence. You are infinite, you are eternal, you exist, so you always will. That which exists cannot become that which does not. The simple answer to understand why that is so is because by definition, non-existence doesn't exist. By definition. That's its quality. Non-existence doesn't exist. That's its quality. Just as existence exists. That's the only quality it has. So if you exist right now, you can never become non-existent. You will change your form, change your expression, change your experience, but you will never cease to exist because you are indestructible. All that is all that is. And that's it. So, get used to the fact that you always exist and relax into the idea of your indestructibility so that you're not in such a hurry, so that you can relax. Because if you know you're eternal, if you know you're infinite, if you know you'll always exist, then anything that needs doing will be done in some way, shape, or form, somehow, somewhere, somewhen. It doesn't all have to be done right now. Of course, even when you do it, it will all be being done right now. Because there is only now. There is only one moment in creation. Everything you think of as a different moment is actually the same moment from a different point of view. But there is only one moment, there is only one place. There is only here, there is only now. The past and future are illusions, and what you call the ideas of past and future are simply simultaneously coexisting parallel realities that all exist right now along with this one. You can make connections to them, and you do so in order to draw upon the information and experience of those realities, even as those lives draw upon your experience to aid and assist and guide them in whatever themes they chose to explore. But it all exists right now. The structure exists in total, completely. What is new, what is always changing, is your relationship to and your perspective of the structure. That's how creation expands. It's the relationship, it's the perspective, it's the point of view that is always in flux. The structure never changes. It is the skeleton upon which you experience all realities, all experiences in any dimension whatsoever. Physical, non-physical, doesn't matter. The structure is the same throughout creation because there is only one moment of creation. And everyone shares that moment in a different way, from a different point of view. That awareness, more of that awareness, will begin to sink into each and every one of you that is truly willing and truly excited about really being, really acting on, really expressing the true core vibration of your natural frequency. So that, again, in crossing this bridge, you will find yourselves more and more every day in every way feeling the acceleration, but you will know, even as you feel it, that that is an experience happening within your consciousness, that you're not really going anywhere because there is nowhere to go to. But you are creating, rippling, creating all those frequencies, all those ideas within your consciousness and experiencing, projecting these ideas as your physical game. And now you are changing some of the rules of those games. You won't change them all, because as long as you choose to be physical, you have to have some parameters, and remember that not all limitations are negative. So you will not give up all the limitations because they guide you. They form a corridor. They form that bridge. They form that tunnel. They form that hallway. They form that path. And within that path, however, you're going to become much, much freer, much more able to truly see as the higher mind sees, to form that true balanced relationship with the higher mind. Not that you will necessarily know how something is going to happen any more than you do right now, because only the higher mind knows that, but you will form a relationship in such a way that your physical mind will begin to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the higher mind always has its best interest at heart, and the physical mind does not have to control everything to make sure that everything is happening exactly the way you want it to. Because you already know that everything is happening exactly the way you need it to serve you and everyone best. Does that make sense? All right. In return this time, thus then, for allowing us to experience the idea of the gift that you are, we ask now how we may serve you with the exchange of questions and answers.